Right.
Oh, hello everyone. This is a scene for the Living World of Darkness, Rage across New York. And today we're joined on Sept. It is, what day it is? Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. And on Sept, Malcolm's gone through his normal routine, paying chiminage to his duff spirits and spending time with them, tending to his keeper duties. He spent some time practicing rituals with Here Comes the Boom as well. And after that, he's going to take a little break. He's going to be sat sort of by where the lakeside normally is, where people go fishing. And he'll be sat down with a sketch pad. He's sat with a sketch pad and he's drawing. He's sort of drawing everything that he sees. And he's drawing it in detail. But he's not only drawing what he sees, he's drawing what's on the other side as well. So it's like a merge of the two. And he can seemingly do this perfectly as well. That's it. Super uncreative. It's what I do.
Well, as Malcolm does his thing, he'll probably see an unfamiliar face merge in the periphery of his vision. This isn't the Tellurian of the Umbra, sorry. Is actually
he's in the they're in the normal side of the world, but in one of the bits of Central Park that people can't get to.
Okay, so yeah, the Born of the Sept. Yeah, you'll see someone emerge in the periphery of your vision wearing a police jacket. They give off a scent of they give off a scent that's very, how to put it, definable. It's it might even smell of something familiar in the back of your mind. It's definitely a wolfish scent. But there's a sort of regal bearing to it. As he sort of approaches you in particular, he gives off this impression of being, in some ways, larger than life.
Yeah, Malcolm will.
There's a sort of silent respect. Yeah, if you're familiar with Pure Breed, you know.
Yeah, and he'll. Yeah, Malcolm will actually. Malcolm will take note of that. To a lesser extent, Malcolm sort of has a similar scent, but his is more. There's something more peaceful and calming about it. It's not sort of regal in any way compared to Captain Jacob Plays. So he'll what he'll do is he'll put his sketch pad and his pad down as the unfamiliar face approaches, and he'll offer a small smile and a polite nod of respect. Good afternoon, Raya.
Evening. I haven't seen your face around here before. Assume you're one of the new cubs?
He'll nod and smile. Yes, Raya. I'm see if I can do this right. I'm Malcolm. Born on two legs. Fierge, and I'm one of the cubs. Yeah. And he'll offer a hand out to shake. He's already sort of done the head nod and the slight showing of throat. It's not ridiculous, but he's done it.
Jacob nods at that. Yeah, you got it. got it. It's not bad. I'm Jacob Kai. I'm Homid Philodox. Afro of the Silver Fangs.
you sorry.
I'm the Master of Challenges for the sept.
He'll nod. He'll nod respectfully and smile at that. Oh, you're Are you in a pact with Dorian?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I see you've met Dorian then.
He'll smile. Oh, yeah, yeah. You could say that. He'll scratch the side of his head a bit awkwardly. He's one of the ones who came to get me when I first changed. He's been helping me to. Yeah, I tried to tackle him. It didn't work out very well, but he's been quite nice about it.
Yes. Well, he has no reason to really begrudge you.
He doesn't seem the type as being as helpful. But yeah, he mentioned that we might meet, but he said you were busy, and well, he'll kind of look to Jacob's police badge. His eyes will glance there, sort of an explanatory. Yeah, I can imagine you're very busy being master of challenges and having work as well.
Yeah, it is definitely a profession. Useful. It's useful.
He'll chuckle at that. I can imagine. Making sure things run smoothly.
Oh, it never does.
And
never does.
He'll nod. Yeah, I'd ask if things get any easier or make more sense, but the general consensus I've got is no. He'll offer a slight smile at that.
Well, at least you're taking the transition well. No, it's no, it will only get more complicated from here, and as time goes on, I think you'll see for yourself just both how bizarre things can get and how high the stakes are.
He'll nod. Well, fortunately, that's my job, to deal with the bizarre and the intangible. He'll chuckle at that, but sorry if I interrupted you on your walk. I just noticed you while I was drawing.
It's no problem.
I wanted to make sure I paid the proper respects.
I appreciate that. So you're a Theurge?
Aislinn and Here Comes a Boom have been helping teach me, so I can start to help with the keeper duties.
That's a good thing to get into if you're a Theurge. It's a good starting point. I'm sure
he'll nod.
I'm sure they can. I'm sure they've already told you much more about being what a Theurge is than I could possibly get into.
He won't nod at that, but he'll smile sort of thoughtfully. Sometimes it's interesting to hear an outside perspective.
Oh.
I think as part of our duties we get quite wrapped up in the spiritual, in lots of definitions of things. Sometimes having an outside pair of eyes can lead to a simpler description. He'll smile quite kindly at that.
It can. It's an interesting it's an interesting place to be in, Theurge. Ulgar have one step in the material and one step out, but You were more so than others. In a way, it sort of is the opposite of my auspice, where we tend to be a bit more invested in the material. But
He'll not.
you are, whereas I'm sort of, I guess, as a philodox, I'm a mediator and diplomat between the Gyrovan nation and the mortal world. You're very much the intermediary for the ethereal, and contrary to what some may believe, unfortunately, not all spirits are our allies, including those we deal with on a regular basis. Part of what
He'll
necessitates the
not.
role.
That's fair. It's strange. At one half of us is about keeping balance, keeping things as they are, maintaining our relationship with the spirits in the spirit world. But on the other hand, we're agents of change. We're there to change things and to heal and to. It's a lot, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, but that's how it is. Not everything can be quantified in words.
I would argue Gara in general are meant to be agents of change. The Ragabash doubly so. But although, funnily enough, I think many Garu are quite stagnant.
Spiritual. He'll nod and I have experienced a lot, but I can imagine so, especially if we're fighting to keep what little we have and to maintain balance. Taking a radical position that could be seen as a risk or seen as uncomfortable. Even changing the normal world with people is difficult.
Perhaps, but we stand at a pivotal point in our history, and, well, the status quo among our kind. I'm not sure how you would find it, so I won't try to push an agenda on you, but needless to say, I find it unproductive at best, actively self-destructive at worst.
He'll nod. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts, Brian, if you felt comfortable enough to share.
No.
I appreciate any knowledge I can get my hands on.
Ooh, that's a very vast. That is a very vast subject. So where to even start? That is actually quite difficult.
He'll offer a tilt of his head, and when he tilts his head, it's actually quite bird-like. He'll tilt his head in sort of childlike curiosity. He's very still at this point, and he's quite relaxed. Because you mentioned we're at a focal point in our history. Maybe there's a good place to start.
For a long time, even when humanity started to cling more strongly to cities, we still maintained control of the wilderness. The world was still strong. The Weaver was still largely in check. Humanity, for the most part, did not have the same degree of power that it does now over the state of the world. Still directed historic events, but it could not destroy whole cities and irradiate them with wormtaint.
He'll wince a little bit at that. Malcolm actually hasn't heard. He knows that the worm's destructive, but he's not heard about irradiation. So he'll wince a bit at that.
Many Garus still cling to very old values, including my tribe. And I think that still, some of those values hold merit. However, we have clung to them to the point of borderline regressionism. And as the world begins to change at a greater rate, I find that we are being increasingly left behind by the world, including our enemies, who are not nearly so stingy. Some tribes, like the Glasswalkers, change at a fairly overt and rapid rate. Perhaps a little bit too much. Or perhaps rather focused in... not even focused in the wrong places. I take back my statement. Over-specialized, I think, is a better way to put it. For example, many Garu disdain binding guns to themselves and modern technology. Some outright forbid it, although, well, largely for reasons we won't be seeing any of them here.
He'll nod.
This sort of technophobia is part of a larger issue I find of how we of our general culture. We have not adapted well to changing times or changing cultures at all. We, as the world progresses, our kinfolk demand a larger voice, and only a few years ago did we risk large kinfolk riots as a result, because they were trapped upon this sept.
Yeah, he'll nod. He'll nod at that, and he'll say probably quite thoughtfully. He'll probably say something thoughtfully like, yeah, I imagine it's quite difficult to adapt to change. I went to the city not long ago, or at least saw some of the weaver's webs. That's something I found a bit uncomfortable. Not that being uncomfortable is a bad thing all the time, but we have to stay true to who we are, and we have to adapt to the times. That's not an easy paradox to fulfill.
This conservatism is evident in other issues, such as the treatment of medicine outside of the sept. The way we evaluate various Garu and opinions. To many Garu, strength is the only thing that matters. Be it physical or mental.
Yeah.
In fact, outside of the sept, that is quite common, also among other tribes. And while there is a point in that we must be strong in order to face our enemies, particularly given that our enemy is arguably the most dangerous threat to the world as we know it, we've become overly dependent on brute force. We have detached ourselves from the world in a way in a place like this simply isn't manageable. It is not sustainable. It is why I have not detached myself from the world, because I believe it would be dangerous to do so. It would be reckless.
He'll give a small smile at that. That's something I'm trying to get used to. I don't want to. That's why I'm been trying to do some drawing, just by relating to something that I knew before. It keeps me present. It keeps me here without overthinking too much. But I've heard a few of the different tribes' views. Dorian was telling me a lot about how the Shadow Lords see things, about having to do what's necessary or do the hard thing to win the war. But I don't know if that's a view I personally have come to yet. A lot of what Aisling's been telling me makes sense to me.
The the Shadow Lords politically are one of the most preeminent tribes in the world right now. They have a point. I actually am quite tolerant as to their views. I'm not sure if you know about my tribe, the Silverfangs, but my tribe and the Shadow Lords are notorious rivals. For many centuries, we
He'll
have
nod.
not actively warred against each other, more in a Cold Warish sense. The Shadow Lords place meritocracy above all, whereas the Silverfangs hold themselves as not only the bearers of a lineage, but also as what should be a shining example of honor and virtue. Obviously, the age-old conflict of idealism versus pragmatism is quite prominent between our two tribes, which I think is what led to us becoming so tense.
He'll tilt his head and ask, if I may ask, Ray, Dorian mentioned that your packet was 2 Silverfangs and 2 Shadow Lords. That's apparently quite unusual. When you decided to become a pack, was that a conscious reason for you joining together to try and create a bridge between those two?
Not in particular. I thought that Dorian and Zelda had potential, so I wished for them to become a part of my pack. It had little to do with their tribal, though, well, it had little to do with building bridges and more to do with the fact that I believed them to hold potential as future leaders and figureheads for the sept. That is what my pack is about. It is about setting an example. It is about leading from the front. It is about setting a standard, a bar. I expect my pack and my packmates to act as future leaders for this sept when it is time that I either move on from this sept or this world.
He'll nod. And what do you think about the other packs? I've only met another one.
Which one do you know?
I know. I've met David and Moses and their pack. They taught me to hunt the other day. I've been learning to hunt in Lupus.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard it's been quite a busy time for them.
It has been. They have been. Our pack has had a rough and turbulent history ever since its founding. They are slowly finding their footing now, which is good. And I'm glad to hear that Moses has returned. He has been absent for some time. He tends to come and go. But I am glad to hear that he has returned. He is good for them, I think. Or at least in the sense that... in no way is to diminish him or imply anything, but every pack needs its heavy hitter. And given the conflicts that pack tends to get into, it is more useful for them than most. Moses is very adroit in his capacity to initiate and end conflict. But I've had something of a rough history and turbulent relationships with some of the other packs. We have, I suppose, in many ways, we've had an on and off relationship. I wouldn't say we've never been enemies, but there are times where we've been friends and times where we've been more neutral to each other, I suppose you could say. It's been positive, but not always outright friendly.
He'll nod at that. I imagine it's hard to to keep everyone together when we're beings of, of rage, when I'm still trying to find my way with it myself. Me and one of the other cubs were scared to leave, in case it happened again.
Rages. Sometimes I think are very, well, it is only natural that we are influenced by rage, both on a personal and on a cultural level. It is where many of our greatest mistakes have come from. But mastering it is a process. You are a Theurge, so you have it easier than most.
He'll nod. Yeah, I've heard.
You are more inclined to the spiritual than to rage and violence. You still possess it within you, and it'll still be very useful, believe me. But it is less of an issue for you than either myself or Moses or Icarus or Dorian. Particularly Dorian and Moses.
He'll nod. What do you find helps? Different people deal with it in slightly different ways.
There are a multitude of methods. Doing things that one finds relaxing, like your drawing. I assume that's relaxing for you. There are
He'll smile. You'd be surprised. Drawing can be quite stressful sometimes. It depends what you're trying to draw. Sometimes I can remember something clearly in my mind, but it just doesn't translate on paper.
The Aruns tend to work it out. Just unleash it on something. I myself have found that mixture, throwing myself into my work is very helpful. Focusing on what matters helps me to keep it in check. I've also found that the closer one becomes their spiritual self, the easier it is to contain their rage, or rather it is the more controlled it is.
He'll nod.
When one finally does let it go, the more precise it is, perhaps is a better way to put it. A technical term for a very intangible thing, but I lack a better descriptor.
I think I understand. I remember when it first happened to me, even though there's not much I remember, and I had to put a lot of will into it. I could direct where I went to an extent. I could try and control some part of it.
It helps. Also, apologies for the people I did not add.
Only been telling you for like 15 minutes. God bless you.
I may have been on another tab.
He'll give a little chuckle. I was like, no, I can't add. I'm gonna probably have to go in 5. That's fine. But fine. Yeah, he'll nod it. He'll nod it. He'll nod at that. Aislinn says a big part of our duty, fight the worm, is not just to physically fight it or spiritually fight it, but to look within ourselves and anything, and look in our hearts and fight that urge to fight that urge of rage. Fight the need to destroy things without questioning why. Just to think about those things, I suppose.
We wage
That's what I've
war.
been trying to do.
Hmm.
Don't know if I'm there yet.
We wage war upon the worm across nations and also within ourselves. It is a constant conflict. In that you have very much learned correctly.
It'd be kind of
He'll nod.
it'd be kind of pointless to have all these other auspices there if our only beauty was to fight physically.
Quite so.
And Owen comes up.
He'll Malcolm will jump out of surprise. Like, oh, right. I didn't see you there.
I'll smile.
You sneaky bastard.
It's what my tribe does.
I mean, in a sense.
Yes, we as a group, we all have a fight going on, taking place inside us, pretty much 24/7. But that's how you prove you're stronger.
You're not.
By always be winning.
Oh, something I forgot to mention, by the way. When you look at Jacob, most of it's hidden, but you notice his wrist seems to have a scar running along up it, and you notice there's like a slight scarring around sort of the base of his neck. That's almost entirely hidden by the collar of his neck. Like it's the slightest thing.
Did it look a bit like Dorian's scars from Silver?
Looks like burns. Looks like burn marks. So it's all like one. It's more like a burn mark that sort of, from what little you can see, covers one half of the sort of base of his neck around his collar. It's less of burn marks and more of just one really big one.
How's your training going, Cub?
Well, from what he's told me.
Or nod.
Malcolm will nod to Dorian and Bill. Say, sorry, Red. I remembered I've got to go and check up on some of the other cubs. Some of them think having a bit of a hard time, so I'm just trying to be there. Help them find normality, and well, they kind of know what I'm going through, and vice versa. So we did pancakes the other day, and I think it's French toast today.
Dorian just looks at Malcolm, tilts his head, and goes, "Holy shit, are you going to be a child of Gaia?"
Maybe you could. Actually, maybe you could all hunt together as Lupus.
That's a very good idea. I remember doing that as a cub.
That maybe we should. I'll put that idea across. He'll smile.
It's a good team building exercise, and a good way to get into the pack mentality. Oh, that's fine. Is anything Malcolm say to send himself off or say goodbye?
Well,
Yeah, I'm going
Is he going to leave to do French toast?
on in. Yes, yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, Malcolm will he'll say, that's maybe I'll give that a try sometime if you'd like to come along. Feel free. We could use some more pointers. He'll sort of give a smile. Oh, I forgot to mention, Dorian. You know that game I mentioned? When you found me, but you were a bit confused about.
go on.
He'll have a slight smile on his. Yeah, I actually was gonna play it with some of the other clubs. If you want to come round, then if you want to come, feel free. I'm gonna order pizza and some soda. He'll smile like darkly.
She smirks. I have a few things to do, but if I have time.
Well, you should come along. It'll be fun. He'll give him a little shove, and then he's gonna go. Bye, guys. Right, cool.
That was pleasant.
He's alright.
Yeah, I need to
I've
find the
got
other
to let
clubs as well.
Yeah, I was talking the other day to some of them. The Galliard seems. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like there's lag between us. I might be lagging slightly.
Yeah, there's some lag.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit. There's like a couple seconds delay. All right. Yeah, who are the other Cubs? If you can point me in their direction, I'd like to meet them.
There's a Ragabash. Name is Tina. Kind of like her. She's got a fight in her. I mean, she seems to. She kind of seems to be wherever food is. Make some food somewhere on Sept, it will probably attract her. The Rune and the Galliard seem to be spending a lot of time on the training grounds. And the other Ragabash, Harris, I don't know, she just seems to wander around kind of a bit everywhere.
I'll see if I can get in touch with them on Scout. Scout out some new potential.
Voice would ring out. Well, you already lost one.
No, how so?
That's it. Well, at least for now. Africa begins. While I'm jumping down from a tree nearby. Caesar is one of mine, so I am obligated for his training.
It sounds like a lot of brew fricky hoo.
You need to make sure
you want to train him on everything by yourself?
I want to be a portion of his training. Obviously, I can't.
What do you? Yeah, well, I assume you're teaching this. Sorry, this cover about their heritage.
I am.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Jacob you can't really just scout anyone that wants to become a Silver Fang. She's tried being Silver Fangs.
If they're Victorno heritage, and well, it makes sense for Harvaka to teach them about what that means. Generally, Garo have an inclination to join the tribe from which they descend from. Or our gang pressed into it. Not saying that's what's happening, but it's usually one or the other.
Dawn kind of smirks. Whoops. Well, my bad.
The third option is they fuck up the challenge and join the Bone Auras. Of course, exceptions happen, but that tends to be the trend from what I see. From pretty much both my personal and all of the anecdotal experience I've witnessed on this app. So that makes sense. Still though, I like to see him and judge him for myself.
I'll make a nod to that.
Who are they?
Like the Cubs in general, or like their back?
Well, I air quote Uktena because they're still a Cub, but the Uktena one.
Oh, Caesar. So,
Galliard.
Lieutenant Galliard.
The one-
That'll be interesting.
The one that was found by Black Sparrow dancers before us, that we brought back.
Shit. And I assume they've seen some things.
he had his change before everybody else did. At least 2 weeks.
Less that, more than that, he was nabbed by spirals.
He was being babysat by them, yes.
Okay.
Tina was Tina smells of Black Fury.
Ha! Cool.
The others can't really smell anything of them. The Ragabash, the Arun and the Ragabash. Well, the other Ragabash.
To be fair, old blood is in short supply in modern day. Most of us have no pure breed at all now. Which in some ways I understand, but pure breed is a powerful thing.
It's an indicator of potential. But unfortunately, that's about it.
I think pure breed is a bit more complex than that, or rather purity of blood, but that is perhaps because its effect is quite tangible.
It is quite tangible, but I would say we've all seen people who may have, let's just say, a good bloodline, but didn't amount to anything. I said.
True. Well, purity of blood is by no means everything, or even all that much, but it is by those who do achieve their potential is a very powerful thing.
Indeed.
Which, funnily enough, I think both Silverfangs and Shadowlords actually agree on. It's one of the few things our tribes agree on, I think. For different reasons, but I'll take what I can get. No, but I understand. It would just concern me for it to disappear completely. That I believe would be dangerous. I believe it has its place, as most things do. But yeah. So I've been trying to get in contact with the other Cubs. If you're during one of your sessions with Caesar Harvicker, just feel free to point him in my direction. I'd like to meet. I haven't really been getting around recently. Been confined to Pack territory, unfortunately.
He nods to that. Oh, talk to Glass. That Bobcat might have tried to kill Malcolm.
The Bobcat.
Said Malcolm was
It's how
near
he
the
had his
territory.
first. It's how he had his first change. He probably thought he was a kinfolk. Went after him, and surprise! Boom! First change.
Kinfolk or not, response is excessive. Even if
So like,
died, he could.
Orisi, I didn't hear you.
She could have killed these innocent people that just happened to be nearby him.
I mean, not sure how much Glass cares. She saw kinfolk in her territory. She, in her mind, kinfolk aren't supposed to be in territory. That was part of our deal. Not that Malcolm could help.
I have a word of her, so this issue can be dealt with. Thanks for telling me. So I assume. So was Malcolm. So Malcolm did not understand what he was or what the kinfolk were before he changed, I assume.
Indeed. He was simply
that makes sense.
And
lost egg, yeah. Alright, fair enough. Well, that is wow, that is really unlikely. Wow. For her to run into a Garu, or for her to run into a cub that then first changes upon their meeting, who just happens to be in her territory at that specific moment. Wow, that is. That is a pointless frustration for me, but oh well. As long as it doesn't cause any more issues. I might introduce Zelly to Malcolm just so they can hash it out and she's aware or something. He's not some fucking conspiracy to remove her claim, and this is not some ridiculous betrayal, act of backstabbery. She is a bit of a paranoid one.
I am noticing that more and more. That is a problem.
What else has she been doing? I haven't really heard much from her. We've sort of, after I struck the deal with her and explained it, and I've sort of just kept to my turf. And if I've ever gone through it, I've just, driven through or around. I haven't, I haven't been doing anything with it.
She keeps to herself and is always on edge.
Okay. That sounds like her. I mean, that's what I expect of her.
She hasn't proved anything else. That's my point. There's no wanting for anything from anybody. There's no sense of camaraderie with anybody. She is very standoffish and apparently quick to anger.
Well, I mean, I expect she would have camaraderie with us. But most of the Thera don't. Akorax is something of an exception, as opposed to a rule.
I mean, not Garu. I haven't seen her be have any kind of friendship with Garu, but she appears to have, to be at least have some level of friendliness with Skyfalling.
Yeah, she's. she has a working relationship with Skyfalling. Her grudge lies more for Garu than with any of the Thera in general.
She's willing to prove that she's willing to attack somebody without provocation outside of the simple terms of they were in my territory, thus they broke the rules, which there is no way in hell Malcolm would have known any such rules.
Well, no, but to be fair, she didn't know that, and it was that's sort of why I said it was very frustrating, because how likely is it that a lost egg just happens to walk into the territory of a Kwame and then the first change in that exact moment and run into her as well, like just bump into her. Like it's a pretty unlikely chain of events when you give it thought.
I'm not sure he actually ran into her. She saw him and started chasing him, using some of her powers, apparently.
To be fair, it's hardly out of the ordinary for Farah to consider other Farah entering their territory as a provocation. If the Silver Tusks entered Randall's Island, I'd sure as no want to know what the fuck they were doing there. In fact, I'd probably just tell them to fuck off. Granted, I would use my words first.
That's my point. He was already leaving her territory. She should have noticed that. He wasn't going any deeper. Her first response, regardless, was to commit violence on him, not just simply steer him out of the place. She assumes that he probably knew something and she didn't like that.
She's always been like that. I need to encourage her to tone that shit down. And granted, very unlikely, I mean, to be honest, Occam's razor, if I was in that situation, Occam's razor would suggest that, the Gara are betraying their treaty with me. Or Jacob's betraying his word to me. But which I guess could provoke a stronger reaction. But I need to have a word with her about that. That was unnecessary. Could have at least chased him off. Did she actually attack him, or did she just try and chase him out?
It looks like she convinced the spirit of a vehicle to try to run him down.
Well, at least she's catching on to the fact that you can't just nip at us and expect us to fall over.
Well, it would have been better if she just would have pounced on him and tried to kill him that way. At least there'd have been less casualties.
I mean, are you sure if he changed over that, she would have probably killed her?
I'd rather the situation been quiet. Of course,
Oh, sorry, your voice got really distorted there. Would you like to say that whole statement again?
Okay, how do I sound now?
It's better now.
Yeah, he responds that, I don't necessarily. I said I didn't want him to be hurt, obviously, but I'd rather have it, unfortunately, end quietly than involve a tunnel-wide pileup.
And what exactly happened at this event? Because I don't know the full details. I'm getting this piecemeal.
As far as Malcolm told us, he was driving a client. Beforehand, he was an Uber driver. Going to get some pizza, getting the client home, then going home himself. He noticed when he was driving, there was a vehicle that wasn't being manned by anybody, that was acting unusual. The vehicle sped up, pulled itself in front of him, and he crashed into it. The vehicle then turned around and began trying to ram the vehicle over and over and over again.
All right. Interesting.
And how he described where he was at, that was her territory, which, granted, may not be her. We could be assuming things, but it doesn't look good.
I mean, she'd almost certainly orchestrated that quote accident. I don't think there's any real debate surrounding that. In fact, if I asked her, she'd probably admit it, because she is she can be pretty stupid sometimes. But yeah, no, that's I'll tell her to tone that shit down and explain that. No, this isn't. It is nowhere near what you thought it was. Unlikely, I know, but it is what it is. Still, I mean, I don't see outside of this really bizarre turn of events, which again I really shouldn't be surprised at this point. Bizarre turn of events seem to be par for the course on this sept. I don't really see you making a hash out of things with her.
You don't answer that.
But yeah, to be honest, even in spite of that, I just don't have. I mean, to be honest, I am past whatever issues are between other people and glass in the wall. As far as I'm concerned, I've put that issue to bed. Unless something really extreme happens, where she just decides to waltz onto her turf and start killing people, or just directly attack us, or do something akin to that. Effectively start provoking us outright without any reasonable recourse, or without any reasonable justification on her end. I can at least chalk this up to an accident. I can at least see that argument. But if you were to just do something without provocation, then obviously that would need to be dealt with. But other than that, I just don't. She wants to run that area on her own. She can. I've told her that, if she does get in over her head, then it is her burden to bear. If for some reason a giant worm monster enters her territory, it's her burden to bear. We'll expect her to deal with it, and if she doesn't, well, we will deal with it. That's kind of the responsibility of territory. So yeah. But yeah. What else have you been up to, though, Havoca? I know I've got chores to do, things to do, missions to accomplish. I haven't really been doing them. I'm busy elsewhere. But what's your pack been up to? I heard Moses is back.
Moses is back.
That's good to hear.
Adjusting himself well. Then he'll look over the door, and I finished an armament for him.
Yeah. And he'll show it. I mean, they're on sept, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll show it. Was gonna practice with it. Well made.
What is it? Out of character?
It's a heavy.
It's a handgun. Yeah.
Oh, nice handiwork.
It's so it shouldn't jam on you, especially if you maintenance, right? And what? We regained the territory that was lost to us by the Silver Tusk.
Oh, excellent. What happened?
They gave it up.
Okay, I'm sensing a story here.
No, that was it. They gave it up.
Oh, they just gave it back to you?
They said they were not in the proper condition to take care of it. So they gave it up.
That's odd.
Blood Eclipse is missing an arm.
How did he come to miss that arm again?
From that one gift that Vasily used on him. Or Vasily used on him. The one that
Oh,
takes away your own
shit.
stats.
Still, though. I might ask Yelena about that. Huh. Well. Well, I'm glad you got your territory back in any case. Yeah, I was confused for a second there. Well, there you go, I guess. There you go.
I appreciate the lack of fighting. It made it easier on us.
Yeah, it's guess there's more to them than people say.
Maybe.
Well, I didn't expect that degree of nuance from them. It's welcoming. I mean, I suppose they've always been well organized and largely pragmatic, outside of the one incident with Vasily. But then again, nobody really knew what they were running into with that one, so they just bit the bullet for everybody else, I suppose. But that's welcoming on both sides. I'm glad he got his territory back, and that is interesting from them. Oh well. So, what else have you been up to, Avaka? Anything else?
Those have been the major events I've been dealing with of late. Making sure Caesar doesn't do anything he's not supposed to. At least to what level I can. The rest is up to Toby.
Glad you get into it. Where the fuck is that goddamn park? Not a character. God damn it.
But for now, things are going smoothly.
Smoothly. Yeah, I'm glad you guys have found your footing. Malcolm was actually asking about the other packs, and I said I was not going into. I didn't have a chance to talk about the behemoths, but so that you guys have finally found your footing, which is good.
He nods that. I heard a good portion of the conversation. But
Oh, and I see you guys are attempting to expand finally.
we are expanding east.
Expanding eastward seems like a good direction to go in. We'll probably be heading westward at some point. We're heading eastward for now. Got to deal with got to deal with the Glen and all that.
But for now,
That's,
I actually need to get back to a not necessarily a personal project, but a commission.
Yeah, finally, things have gone quiet, which makes me comfortable, but also makes me somewhat eerie after all. Vasily is still out there.
He's out there hiding again. And I wish you the best of luck, right? I see. Havika inclines his head and looks over the door in. And you, have a good day.
Have a good day.
Have a good one.
And he will begin going back into the city.
So, Dorian, I believe I have to ask a few questions of your man.
Yeah. Ask. Go ahead and ask.
Yeah. Got anything out of him yet?
Not really. We have to interrogate him. He won't say anything unless he's made to.
Oh.
I want the kind of man he is to come to the light. A lot of people look up to him in his job, don't know what he's really like. Don't know about the dirty things he's done and still does.
Currently, he's a victim of kidnapping him. But it would be possible if certain information were to come to light. He would be, he would no longer be, would be quite a scandalous figure. Even if he didn't wind up in prison, he would lose his job. He'd be exiled from City Hall. When someone becomes toxic to city politics or law, everybody else is very quick to distance themselves lest they get attached to the poison chalice as well. So, I'll see what I can do on that. I mean, we have his phone.
We do.
So all we need to really do, if we could plant it on somebody. In fact, if I can arrest some of these, what's it called, river rats? That'd be something. I'm like, oh hey, I found this phone. Something like that. Or somebody else just happens to find it. I need to clean it though, get rid of my own prints. I mean, to be fair, all we need to do is get the river rats. He's corresponding with the river rats. Technically, we don't need his phone. We only need the phone. We only need the correspondence of the river rats with him, which they probably have on their own phones. So if we get their phones and we crack them, suddenly he's in a lot of trouble. But I want to ask him some questions first. I think there are some aspects to this little mystery that require some digging into. He's obviously been manipulating a criminal gang, but what they are is another question. And who's really pulling the strings of your uncle? I have to wonder, because it would be impressive, albeit unlikely, that a singular kinfolk orchestrated all of this as the main piece on the board. I somehow doubt this. He is likely a prominent figure, but he is very much a face from what I can tell from the way that he has been. He has acted as a public figure.
Yeah, his job probably keeps him way too busy to do much else. Doubt he could have orchestrated everything on his own and managed to have his job, and on top of that, show up to all these public events. A lot of work.
Well, in theory he could. It's less of that, more that. I mean, keep in mind I'm a Garo and hold down a job as a police captain, but it's less of that and more is he. How much power is he truly wielding? In theory, he has the influence to do so. However, while he holds much legal and political power, and some degree of financial and institutional power, if he was the sole person behind it, there would be very little. Well, there'd be very little stopping him from being killed. He has not had much of a security detail. And nabbing him wasn't that difficult. And if he is unaligned with any greater entity, then why side with the worm? Why not just go dark? That would be the easiest way for a kinfolk to betray the nation. Just go silent. New York is a big place. It's easy to get lost in. Why create worm activity and make yourself a target? It doesn't really make sense. That, and while he has the capability to pull institutional strings, he lacks the mystical power to do so. He lacks the physical power to protect himself if things were to go awry. He's obviously thrown in his lot with somebody, and we need to find out who that is. Then he can go to jail. He can die.
He's gonna die.
Whatever. Well, either you have him see the light and he goes to prison, or he dies. They can't be both, you know. This is one or the other. No offense. Like it's that is very much. I mean, this is very much your. This is very much a family matter, but those are fairly binary options.
I mean, what I want is to have him to have everything he built, his reputation, everything that he stands for, fall in front of him before he dies. I want to see him lose everything and then kill him. Maybe let him suffer in everything he has lost a bit.
I would not overindulge. Personally, that's a very clinical way for me to put it, but I would ask that you do not allow your desire for vengeance to cloud your better judgment.
He'll just nod, kind of visibly not happy, but kind of trying to understanding that visibly not happy, I guess, is the most is the better way to understand it, to put it.
Does he deserve to suffer? Probably, but we are also the sum of our actions, and we have our own spirits to consider as well. That, and well, the longer we keep him imprisoned, the greater the chance that he could, whatever party has sponsored him, can either break him out or find a way to reshuffle his power into a new deck. And I'd rather not see that happen. I'd rather we deal with him swiftly. It's both a matter of ethics and pragmatism. But I will not preach to you. I will not do that. So I'll just ask him some questions, and then you can decide whether he lives or dies or goes to job, whatever. You know, we already covered that. But that's what I intend on doing. I think I can crack him. This is often it's not that. I think he is more fragile than he looks on. People always try the I'm going to stay silent trick, but it never lasts. Mortals are social creatures. You isolate them, and eventually they'll start talking. If not to other people, then to the wall. And every mortal has, well, everyone has something of a weakness. We even saw this in Vasily, who proclaimed himself more or less invincible, some sort of ingenious tactician or strategist. At the end of the day, his own sense of arrogance caught up with him.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting a plane to crash on his facility.
Nope. To be fair, I didn't expect to survive it either, but the world is full of surprises, I suppose. But I'll have a word with, well, that which passes for your uncle. I'll get him the crack. Just need to find out what makes him tick. I'll look him up. I think his fear will actually undo him. To me, he comes across as something of a coward. I remember when I first spoke with him, he seemed surprisingly nervous, on edge. I think the consequences of his actions are finally dawning on him, and that may cause him to break. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. But, yeah. I'll, and then we can come after who, well, we can deal with the true masterminds of who orchestrated your mother's death, and they will face justice in the most direct of fashions.
I'll nod.
Yeah. I don't have a question for you, Dorian. I know you probably don't have an answer to it, but do you know anything about what lies south of Randall's Island? That's where my police precinct
don't really know.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, if that's where your police precinct is, don't you know what's there?
Something's not right about it. I'm gonna need to investigate. I want to see what's down there, but yeah. I also want to check out Million MR later.
I see. You want to check out what?
I wanted to check out the Million MR. You know, the I swear a lot of Silverfangs and Glasswalkers live, but there's a place Far in a Hole's been mentioning that is particularly relevant to the Glasswalkers in a way that seems less than positive, so I want to have a look at it and want to see what that's all about. I mean, I have plenty of time on my hands now, so... Also need to check out the... Oh no, that's routine maintenance, whoops. Yeah, those are the things I need to do. I'll keep you posted on them, and I'll keep Zelda posted on them, and Arms in Red, Roland, as well. Need to catch up with Roland.
Yeah, he hasn't been very active lately.
Yeah, he's been scurrying around with all the bone gnawers. So I think he's gotten a little bit too invested in his work. I mean, I appreciate it. But yeah, that's all I got for you right now. Everything else been going okay?
Everything else has been going fine.
Alright, then I should probably get back to the fucking mess that is my precinct right now.
He'll chuckle.
Yeah, well, I still got Vasily's contacts to sweep up, but it's not they aren't going away, so I got to keep them out, and I got to deal with that. So I'll see you around, Dorian. It was good catching up with you.
A nod. By the way, that Shadow Lord, this other Shadow Lord that came on sept, her hotel is on Millennium.
Oh, what was her name? Sorry.
I see. I forgot her name. The one that Zelda went to see. Yeah.
This is the one who made the announcement on the set page.
Yeah. Her.
Oh, yeah, Pinlight, right. What about her?
You were talking about Millionaire Mall. I just thought I should tell you that's where her hotel is.
Sorry. Yeah, I completely misheard that. Yeah, why is she here? Again,
Don't know.
I had some, yeah.
Wanted to speak to me because Charlotte, and apparently I know, and because I know Zelda. I don't really know why she's here. Told me about the judges being here too.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors, and I am very confused. I might have a word of her personally because, well, if this is a matter of law, then obviously, as the senior philodox on Sept, I should at least check up to see what's going on. But yeah, all right. Thanks for that. I'll catch up with her. Concerns me that the. Sorry, what was it? The judges? What were the judges again?
They seem to be looking on our sept mainly because we have so many metas.
Oh no! Who are the judges though? Who are they?
Oh,
Apparently, I may have been told this before.
Oh, you mean what they do? I mean, I don't know who they are specifically. They are. Well, they act as judge and executioner to anyone who breaks the listening.
So they're just so a whole bunch of hot ass Shadowlord Philodoxes are here. I'm okay. All right. I'm not sure if I should be offended. If that they think I'm not doing a good enough job. I don't know what to say. All right. Well, I guess I'll definitely have a word with them then. Alrighty. How odd. Oh well. That seems to be, as I said earlier, par for the course for this sept. So, thanks for keeping me up to date. I'll keep you informed on what we discuss. Was there anything else about her that you want to discuss, or that you have to discuss? Sorry.
No, the rest is I'm fine.
Okay, I'm gonna perception empathy you because I know Shadowlords keep secrets. Actually, no. Actually, no, because you said she wanted to speak with you. So no, Jacob knows. Jacob is aware. Whatever she's wanted to discuss with you, she probably hasn't yet. So he will not make the check. He trusts your word from at least this standpoint. From at least this point. I'll have to tell him I give him secrets from Jacob. Oh no, but no, it's no. Jacob may need to roll later, but he certainly believes you for now. So, and he in general trusts you. So, but yeah, I'll see you around, Dorian. Have a good one.
See ya. And with that, Dorian will walk away, probably towards the training grounds.
Thank you, Derek, and another scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.